April is not a month. April is a portal. April is helping us to return to our soul. April is helping us to get into our soul and getting out what we're being told. April, this is going to be a big month for us collectively because this is the time in this new timeline on earth, on heaven on earth, where we're going to be shifting into our original identity. April is going to be a big time where we're going to be seeing transformations in astrology. We're going to have a new moon in Taurus on April 27th. And this new moon in Taurus is how we're going to ground our identity. But before that happens, on April 13th, we're going to have a full moon in Libra. This is the opposite of Aries. So this is when we're going to be looking in the mirror. We're going to be going through a change. We're going to be going through a transformation, and we're going to be having revelations of how we can see, how can we love deeply of ourselves. Because Libra is the relationship of the zodiac. So what is our relationship with ourself? And not our human self, our soul self. This is the vibration of Libra. That's the full moon that's going to be on the 13th. And 13 is the energy of transformations. It's the energy of rebirth. So this is time for us to change. This is time for us to see who we supposed to be in this earthly reality in April, in this Aries season, which is also going to be Taurus too. So let's break this down. Aries represent the first house. The first house is the energy of self-identity. This is the energy of self. So we're going to be collectively in the first house. Or you're going to be where Aries is in your chart. So what you want to do is see what Aries is in your chart. And it's going to help you what to do in Aries season in April. The more you see what you're doing in your chart, or what classroom you are in, because the 12 circles are classrooms. The 12 houses are classrooms on earth. Once you pass these tests here on earth, you don't have to go to this earthly school anymore. You can go back into the cosmos and rest and be with the infinite source of all that is. In this month of April, we're also going to be going through Taurus season, which is a second house. The second house is a house of wealth. It's a house of currency. It's a house of possession. It's a house of property. It's also the energy of how you value yourself. So we're going to be going through changes and transformations and revelations of how we see ourselves and the value of ourselves deeply. At the end of April, we're going to be seeing something of Mercury really shining far away from the sun. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, but it's going to be far away at the end of April. And when this happens, we're going to be getting spiritual high intelligence downloads. And with these downloads that we're going to be getting, it's going to help us to see the upload, the sky, and how we can bring it down here on earth. But in this time, this is the time you want to deeply listen and not be over speaking. Because if you're speaking too much, you're not going to get the information that you need from source. So I want to invite you guys to use this time in Aries, which is April, and Taurus to really shift your life. This is us having a clean slate. This is us being reborn. Mercury will also be going into Aries in this time in April. And what is this going to be showing us? It's going to be showing us that it's time for us to be bold. It's time for us to not longer be in the lack of discipline. We need to really embody the discipline. This is the time where the feminine is going to be going through deep healing. No matter if you are masculine or feminine, you're going to be going to deep healing of your feminine and how it can be safe and how it can tap into intuitive and how it can tap into a different way of thinking of moving from right to left, then left to right. The ones who needs to hear that information is going to receive that information. Everybody do not learn right to left. I mean left to right. Some people learn right to left. Some people learn visually. Some people learn just from embodiment. This is what Aries and Taurus trying to get us to see. Because Taurus is the energy of be. Be in your inner being. So anything that is not aligned to that inner being, it got to go in this April season, baby. It's time for us to get out the ego. It's time for us to get out the materialistic things. It's time for us to get into the real things of how you love yourself. How are you treating yourself? How are those commitments that you made a couple months ago, how is that doing for you? Have you stopped? Have you distracted yourself with other things? This is now the time to reflect, because Mercury is in retrograde in this time too. But Mercury is going to go direct in this time too. So before Mercury goes direct in this timeline in April, we want to reflect in this retrograde in Mercury that's also in Pisces. Pisces is the ending. So something is ending from the past. Something is going to come in your dream. And this is going to help you deeply of what you need to see in the unhidden, which is the subconscious, because Pisces rules the energy of the subconscious. So we need to see how we are subconsciously thinking and what is holding us back, or what we are not consciously seeing. It's time for us to see who we need to be and how we can activate our I am frequency. That is what Aries is. That's what April represents. April is the energy in numerology 19. So this is a time for us to get into our 1 and our 9 frequency, get into our beginning and our end frequency, get into our timeless being frequency. Remember, this is not a month. This is a portal. This is a vortex. This is the time to tap into your architect. But we do not want you to rush things. This is very important. You do not have to rush things. Slow down. Slow is pro. The more you are attentive to details and you're not rushing, but you're in calmness, you are in the present. You're being in the positive of the Aries, not the negative of the Aries, because we all have the Aries energy. We are all the zodiacs. The zodiacs represents the body. The Aries represents the head. The Taurus represents the throat. So we are activating our God head, our God throat. So better communications, better ways of thinking, better ways of communication, and get out defensive ways of communication, especially if you are Aries moon. So Aries moons in this time, this is going to be a deep time for you. You're going to be going through a deep ego death if you have an Aries moon or you are a South node in Aries. Why? Because it's getting you out the lone wolf. Just because you are a leader doesn't mean you have to do it alone. You need to have a group. You need to have a pack. Because the more you move with packs, you're going to be more dangerous. Remember what Planet of the Apes said. Apes alone weak. Ape together strong. Aries is the energy of April. Aries is the energy of March. But since we are moving into the energy of April and we are in the energy of Aries, this Aries energy is going to show us something deeply with Mars. And that's the energy of King Kong. This is the energy of gorillas. This is the energy of the masculine. This is also the energy of the warriors. It's time for us to activate our warrior. It's time for us to go into that energy and not feel like we are in our ego self frequency. If you have to hold more boundaries and you have to move into a different frequency of self and value of self, it's going to call your Aries to be more bold. And some people are not going to like it. It's okay that some people do not like you. You are not here to be liked. This is something deeply for all of us collectively. We are not here to be liked. We are here to be aligned with light. We are here to be aligned with the right bodies, not just anybody, the right bodies, the right frequencies, the right soul journey, the right soul path for humanity. So right now we're getting into a redirection, a realignment of what we need to do for humanity, for the collective, because it's not just about me, it's about we. It's about the law of one. You see, we are all one, and this is how we can collect. We can transform the collective consciousness from us working on ourselves. The more you work on yourself, you shift your mommy, you shift your daddy, you shift your family, you shift your child. The more you shift you, especially if you're the only one shifting in your family too. So remember, April is not a month. April is a portal to ascension for transformations. Are you ready? So here's some practical things we can really do in this Aries Taurus season in April. In Taurus season, what you want to do, you want to really get in tune to what's your relationship with money. What's your relationship with material things? And what is that doing to you? Is it serving you or is it not serving you? Because Taurus is the energy of the fixed sign. So the resistance way of thinking in Taurus season, we're going to have to see those things that we are resisting, because whatever you resist, it will persist. So it's time for you to get out your way, Smokey. It's time for you to get in the heaven on earth way. I promise you, if you do this, this is going to shift your life deeply. Because Taurus is the vibration of harmony. Taurus is the energy of beauty. So if you are thinking that you're ugly, this is the time to release those flawed ways of thinking. You are perfect just by mathematical design. Your spiritual DNA is perfect. It doesn't matter if you're taller, shorter, bigger, or lighter. You are the way you need to be, exactly how you need to be. Now, if you want to get more skinnier, this is the time to work out. Because the negative polarity of Taurus is lazy. So any lazy tendencies, these are the things we need to collapse in this new timeline so we can move into our heaven on earth timeline. And this is what we're going to be going through deeply, collectively in this April season. Things we need to be aware of if we're trying to force things in this April season. Something with spiritual guides will intervene with what you're doing. If it's not aligned for the purpose and the mission and for your soul, Spirit's going to intervene and sit you down. So I want you guys to sit down until you feel called to move. But if you're trying to force things, you're not in the flow of things. So what Source is going to do is delay things, create more chaos to things, because you're moving in your head, you're moving in your Aries negative. We do not need to be moving from our head. It's time for us to return to the heart, which is the real art. The more we return to our heart, we will get in tune to our art. We're going to get more in tune to our creativity. We're going to get more in tune with our poetic way of thinking, our poetic way of speaking, the poetic way of teaching. Because when you speak poetically, when you activate your poetic way of being, this is when you're moving subconsciously and you're moving into your flow state. This is when you activate your infinite intelligence, and this is your Akashic Records state. And this is what we all have. We just access it in different states. Some people do it through the body. Some people do it through speaking. Some people do it through music. Some people do it through writing. I want to encourage you, invite you. What is your way? What is your passionate momentum way that you would do every single day? But you've been scared to show people this energy. But it's time for you to be seen from the energy you've been keeping hidden since you was a kid. or even if it was just when you was a teenager, or if you was in your 20s and you are older. It's time for you to tap into your creative abilities so you can be seen. And I'm not trying to say be seen in the outward ego recognition. You want to be seen to help other people to see themselves too, where they can be like, oh, that happened to me too. Oh, that resonates to me too, to give them that spark. Because April is the energy of the cardinal with Aries. So it's time for us to activate our spark. What sparks us? The more we see what sparks us, we're going to see what's in alignment fully for us. It's going to be time for us to feel like that 9 to 5 is getting boring and you're going to be getting more irritable. So if you want to get out that frequency and you want to transform to a higher frequency, I want to encourage you to see the 5 things you love to do every single day that you would do for free. And then I want you to circle just 3 and see what you can do that can also make you money. Then I want you to start doing those things. Even if you have a 9 to 5, make time to do this for an hour every single day. Doing this and being committed to this for at least 30 days, this is going to help you to move in this April season in a deep way. And it's going to help you for the May season, which is the Gemini season, and the Cancer season. And that's going to be a whole different energy. But before we get to that, we want to use this month as a portal to ascend us to something more. Use this Venus to be in a different level of love for yourself. Use this new moon in Libra to see a full moon in Libra to see the mirror of yourself. See the new moon in Taurus of you planting the seed of the soul for yourself. You do these energies. This is how you're going to shift your timeline in this Aries season, baby. This is what we have for April for the collective conscious through Adewale Matthew Adewale. More stuff is going to be coming soon.